What's up everyone, I'm Salasas. Welcome to my YouTube channel Arc Studio. Today we will be seeing how we could create the Beijing Olympic Stadium out in Grasshopper and Rhino. This is a technique that I would be teaching you guys for creating a mesh-like structure out in Grasshopper on any surface that you are basically creating. So now I'll just move on to my Grasshopper and Rhino screen and on Grasshopper. So Grasshopper is also enabled. Now from here I'll be what I would be doing is, as in the surface that you have seen for the Beijing Olympics, the method that I will be using is, first I will create the shape of the Olympic Stadium, and then what I will be doing is I will create the sort of mesh, okay, or the sort of pipes that is you are already seeing, the steel structures that is already seen will be created onto the surface, and then we will basically uh, combine it and then create the surface. Okay, for that, first what I will be doing is I would be creating a ellipse, or oh, you can see that this stadium surface basically is having one a base point, which is a curve, this is the ellipse, and then you have the midpoint, which is again a curve, and then the center curve there is there, which is the stadium, right? So I'll be basically creating three curves with the help of the ellipse tool. I'm just clicking out here and then typing 0 comma 0 comma 0, which is basically the center point, and then clicking on the side and then making a ellipse. On the third click it will create an ellipse. Now what I'll be doing is I'll be trying to offset it and create the offsets of this ellipse, okay, so as to create the concentric circles. Okay, so I'll just click on Alt as well as Shift and then press on this and just move it. Okay, now we can see that it is creating an offset. Again I'll click and just create an offset, so that you will see that there are like three curves that is being formed so as to create. Now what I'll do is I'll just move it to a levels in this front elevation, so that it basically gives the height for the curves. Okay, was first thing I'll just move this outermost circle, which is to a point height, so that it basically gives the outer curve of the Beijing Olympic Stadium, and then I will move the centermost onto a level. Okay, centermost curve, I'll just make it into a middle level, right? And now what I'll be doing is I'll loft all these curves. For lofting, I will not loft it in Rhino, but I will loft it in Grasshopper. Why I am doing it is, I'll within a few time you will understand that. I'm just double clicking it, typing curve, okay, and then you can see curve appears. So this is a point in Grasshopper. Now I want to select the curves out in the in the Rhino. So what I will be doing is I'll just select this and then left click, and you can see there is an option on a select multiple curves. Okay, I'll select this multiple curves and then select it according to the way I want the curve to be, or the loft to appear onto it. So loft is nothing but it is a skin that is going to be put on top of this curve. Okay, so first one, second one, third one, I am pressing enter. So you can see that this represents the curve out in Grasshopper, right? In a Rhino, this point out in Grasshopper represents the curves out in this Rhino, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loft it. So I'm just typing loft. Then you can see that a plugin comes out here like this, just connecting this to the curve. So now you can see that you have got a design like this, right? So with this, what you can do is you can change the curves position, as well as you can try to manipulate it a little, and also you can change the curves sizes as well a little, however you want. I'm just making it a little more, okay, so that it becomes more proper. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change. So this is one advantage over what if you are lofting out in Grasshopper. What happens is this loft option would be able to change, or you can manipulate the ones in Rhino. Okay, the curves would be easy for you to manipulate. So I'm just taking it down a little, So you can see that it is getting manipulated. The loft command is manipulated as how you change out in the Rhino. So once, if you had have lofted out in Rhino, what would have happened is that you would not be able to get this sort of freedom so as to change, or you have to modify out after this once you have lofted it, right? So this is what I have done right now. Second thing, what we are going to do is we are going to create a mesh like the ones that you are seeing, the steel structures. So how to create that? For that, the technique is that you make a spear and engulf this one out here, and then we create random points, and then from that we basically put on some normals which goes and stick on top of this shape. So this is the flow that is going to be happening. So for that, what we need to do is first we need to create a spear. So I'm just typing spear, entering it. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a radius for us. Now I'm just keeping 20, putting on top of it, just making the slider up and down so that it gets engulfed onto this surface, right? And then what I'm going to do is I am going to have a populate tool. Okay, I'm just going to type populate 3D. So what populate does is it gives you random points. Got it? So this is the region that I want, and the count I'm just giving it as 80 with the help of a slider. Just type 80, you will get a slider. Just connect this as a count. Okay, so that you can manipulate the count as and when required. Then what you need to do is you need to have lines being thrown, right? So for that we will add a it's known as vector 2 points. Got it? So this would be our second point. Okay, so the points that is arising from here will be the last point where this line would come, and the first point will be some random curves from the midpoint of this of this one. We will have random lines being aroused. Okay, so that is what would be done. So for arising that, we need what to do is known as a grid, or construct grid of lines. Okay, so construct point would be there, option known as construct point. Okay, so that would be our first point. Got it? So I'm just clicking that too. Then what we need to do is we need to throw some normal lines from that, right? For that we'll have something known as normal plane. Okay, we have normal plane, and I am creating that as the z axis, and the origin would be from our the points that is there. Okay, so what I'll press is I'll press shift and then I'll just give it to the origin. Okay, so that there is no break. Got it? So I created something like that, and now what is to be done is I need to create a BREP. Okay, so BREP is nothing but a plane. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a BREP. So I'm just typing BREP plane. Okay, you got a BREP plane. So because this is a plane, we need a BREP of a plane. Okay, so I'm just clicking this, and the second BREP that you need to connect is nothing but the surface. So if you have some other surface, nothing but the line would be forming on top of that. Okay, so I'm just clicking this onto this line. So now you could see something has happened on our surface. So what I'm going to do is I'm just selecting all, pressing the midpoint of it, and just doing disable preview so that you can see that the surface out here, that the mesh that is being created is being formed. Got it? So now this is the method that is being used so as to see, or so as to form some random columns of meshes onto this surface, right? Next, what I'm going to do is I want to add some thickness onto this pipe. Now it is just a single line. If you could see, just a single line. So I need to add some thickness. For that, what I need to do is I need to select these curves. So I'm just typing curves, then you will get an option like this. Just connect this, and then I'll add some thickness. For thickness, what normally is add is that we use a command known as pipe. Okay, just select this pipe and then give the radius as 0.2 or so. Okay, I'm just giving it 0.2. So now you can see the thickness. I'll just reduce the thickness some more. It's 0.1 or so. Okay, so it looks better now, right? So you have basically created now the outermost skin, or the outer sides that you have seen. This one, the mesh is being formed, right? So now what we have to do is we have to now see the outcome. For seeing the outcome, normally what we do is we do custom preview. Right. That is a method that is being used so as to see the previews. So this will help you to give the geometry and also give the material color. So for giving the material color, we normally use color swatch. Okay. So I'm just connecting this color swatch onto this, and this color swatch you can change. I just need it to be something like a red color. Just can change it according to your wish. So let it be something like a blue color. No, let it be red in color for me right now. Just changing this one. Okay, this would be fine. And giving it. Now what I need is I need this, the curve that we have already means that also need to be shown, right? So I'm just clicking on this. I'm also making it to be seen. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm again going to add the same custom geometry out here as well. Custom preview out here as well. Custom preview, I'm just pressing shift and then adding it. Because what shift does is that you can do multiple lines or connections with the help of shift command, right? And then material, I'm just going to add color swatch, and then I'm just connecting it. From here, I'm just adding it a little more transparent. No, let it be blue in color. So I'm just increasing the saturation, then going to blue, and then changing it the transparency a little. So this would go. Now you can see our Beijing Stadium is ready. Got it? Just you need to bake this. Okay, baking is nothing but transferring the file from the Grasshopper onto the Rhino. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake this. Just left click onto it. There's an option known as bake. Give OK. So that is baked. Second one out here. Just click on this and give right click and just give the option bake and give OK. So these two gets baked, and then what you need to do is make sure everything is, and then what you need to do is go to your Rhino screen, double click, just move this side, move this a little side. Okay, so let it be there itself. Just going to the rendered view. I'm just going to the rendered view. So you can see that this has been formed. You just the problem out here, right? What is happening is it is basically overlapping the ones that is been in the Grasshopper. I'm just deleting this right now, so you can see that you have basically got the rendered view of the file. So that is how you create the ones from Grasshopper. And if you like the video, if you learned something new from us, do like, share, and subscribe to Hawk Studio. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.